Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Thursday, March 23rd, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern. Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds you plant. Robert Louis Stevenson. The only reason why any of us manifest a physical financial challenge in this life is from the buildup of negative financial thoughts and feelings. The only reason, and no other reason. As long as the mind is entertaining desperate, lacking thoughts and feelings around money, the universe, this universe, must reciprocate by manifesting money lack, monetary lack, and struggle in our bank accounts. Once we stop struggling to create a healthy relationship with money on our inner world, we will naturally stop manifesting financially struggling situations in the outer world. So it's within, and this is the culprit. It's what we embrace thoughts-wise. And let's face it, on this planet right now, okay, we have a lot of unsettled activities going on. Unknowns here and unknowns there, and who's the good guys, who's the bad guys. And all of this going on, it feeds the inner self, the ego mind. And so the ego mind, someone could be, it doesn't matter, it's any of us. It can be in a situation where we just, financially, it's stretched, to say the least. And so we build on that stretching. We get depressed, we get worried, we get stressed. We go into negativity deeper and deeper and deeper. And so even if we saw something that would literally pull us right out in a very short period of time, it passes by because we are so disillusioned and do not believe in ourselves. So our consciousness is continuously radiating a story out into the world. And this story first shows up in the form of an energetic movie projected by the mind, by your mind. Each movie scene by the mind has to be reflected on the mirror, the world that's all around us. And when the mind is clear from all beliefs, we can only see the divine abundance that exists all around us. When the mind is clear from all beliefs, we can only see the divine abundance that exists all around us. This universe is already highly and naturally abundant. It's unlimited. There is more than enough money on the planet right now for everyone to live like a billionaire. We simply have to learn how to feel worthy of this energy and tap into it. I've said many times that all of us have everything we need, and then some, outfitted for this endless journey. And it's for us to discover it. Lastly, please remember that you are the supreme ruler of your financial destiny. Every one of us are. It doesn't matter your current status or anything. It's what you've been programmed, and you continually program on top of that. For instance, if you had a parent that told you constantly, we can't afford that, we can't afford that, we can't afford that, we can't afford that, I can guarantee you that when you become a full adult, you will say the same thing to your kids. I almost guarantee you. And it continues. Here's the root of this civilization's challenges, okay? It's a big one. It's how what the parents' knowledge, what they gained in their knowledge base, and how they pass it on to you, their beliefs, what they believe and what they don't believe, their prejudices, whatever they are goes to you. See, and then you gravitate towards people that pretty much similar, and not exact, but similar, of these programming thoughts that come in. So where it breaks, where it becomes warped, so to speak, like a warped piece of lumber, is when the parents start teaching the children and where it goes from there. So this responsibility is ours. Each moment we define who we are and who we are not. We always are creating our relationship and feelings about money each moment. And when there are no more excuses, no escaping of our true power, and we have moved beyond this small, helpless, financially struggling self, then we are truly financially free. Okay? You always are creating your relationship and feelings about money each moment, about everything. When there are no more excuses to no escaping of your true power, and you have moved beyond this small, helpless, financially struggling self, then you are truly financially free. Misery does not exist in reality, but only in mere imagination. Sri Ramana Maharishi. These are things, see, we weren't taught these. Did your parents sit down with you and talk about with you about this? Your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle, your grandparents, did any of them? The day on which we come to know the supreme consciousness within us, and we will, then the outside world will also appear to us like the expanse of the supreme consciousness. The whole will be a mirror to us when we become a mirror within. If and when we stand near a stone, then we will be able to see ourselves even in the stone. Osho. That's why I have said repeatedly that when you look at a mountain range or you look at a sunset or a sunrise, you look at it because it is so breathtaking, because you look at it, that's the God that you are. The image of the God that you are is in all beauty, in all things, not separate from you, ever. There are so many thoughts flying through our minds every day. And roughly, on average, human thinks about 60,000 thoughts every 24 hours. And, no wonder we may get lost in living up in our heads and have a hard time keeping track of it all. The mind is a highly activated thinking machine, and it's always presenting us these really good morsels of creative gifts. We can do whatever we wish with these thoughts. We can ignore them, welcome them in deeper, invite them to flow in stronger, store some of them away in our subconscious closet, or have fun unwrapping one delicious thought after the other, savoring each one thoroughly. The thought that places us in complete power of our lives is the one to dwell deeply on. The concept which opens our minds up to a universe of new possibilities is the one which needs to be adored and cherished all day long. The thought which ignites the most awesome creative force inside of us is best to be held permanently sacred and true. If and when we wish to manifest the most outrageous success in our lives. And my invitation for you is to meditate upon perhaps one of the most enlightening and empowering thoughts that will ever be tossed across the creative canvas of the mind. The thought I'd like you to play with this week is that you are the highest authority in your life. This thought means that there is nobody and no thing outside of us who has more power than we do, each one of us. Nobody. There is nobody and no thing outside of any of us that has more power than us. We are the creators of our destinies, and we are constantly manifesting the reality that we see, smell, taste, touch, hear, and experience all around us. Whatever direction and dimension we are placing our attention in each micro moment is what we are seeing, experiencing, and manifesting more of. What's amazing is that all these thoughts appear and disappear continuously out of a source of pure awareness. Everything we want or don't want is being created within this energy of awareness inside of you right now. And whatever you focus your mind upon will grow in energy and frequency. Now you can see how important awareness is for every one of us. Awareness. Do not strain yourself to understand all of life's mysteries at once. Accept each one as it comes, fit it into the jigsaw puzzle, snap it into place, knowing that bit by bit each piece will be shown to you and will fit into place perfectly. Become like an empty vessel ready to be filled. Eileen Caddy. Everything in this life is multi-dimensional and multi-sensual. This means there are many more layers and levels to explore after we scratch the original surface. If and when we peer with an electron microscope into a drop of water, you will find layers of complex, unexplainable miniature worlds within each deeper world. There are entire universes that could sit on the top of a pin. Believe it or not, there are universes that can sit on top of a pin as like a little bubble. Everything in this life is multidimensional and multisensual. That means that there are many more layers and levels to explore after we scratch the original surface. The great mystery of life multiplies, deepens, and expands the further we peer down the rabbit hole. The same applies to when we meditate on the concept that we are the ultimate authority of our reality. The ultimate authority of our reality. Take a few minutes to sit within the context of this concept and how it applies to your own life. Notice how this little exercise shifts your experience of being alive. When you initially meditate upon this idea for the first few days, you may have a variety of random responses. You may notice your mind rejecting it, denying it, trying to ignore it, or making up a dozen reasons explaining how and why you truly are not the ultimate authority of your reality. You may get caught up in an old belief pattern. Old belief patterns that prove this idea to be completely wrong. Your mind may also surmise that you understand the idea completely and that there's nothing further to learn from it. You could also stop everything you're thinking and surrender yourself completely to this super potent and juicy idea and soon discover a plethora of hidden realms and enlightening paradigms within yourself which you never knew existed. Whenever something extremely powerful is introduced into our lives, it tends to disrupt the normalcy we previously had, and we may unconsciously tend to avoid it. Be careful of avoiding this concept on any level, because it will place your life on the lower back burner, or even worse, drop it into the bottom of the barrel. Whenever we start thinking that we already know everything there is to know about a particular subject, we believe it's a dead idea, and then we relate to that deadened energy within ourselves. There is always something to learn and master. Even the greatest artists work harder to reach a higher state of perfection. Right? There's always something to learn and master. Even in the greatest artists work harder to reach a higher state of perfection. When we look at the word authority, we see that it has the word author in it. You are the ultimate author of your life who is writing the script, telling the story and tale of who you are and who you are not. What is the story you most want to stop telling? What would happen if you simply stopped focusing on it? When we feel into the quality of being the author of our life story, we can sense there's something firm, solid, and unmovable in it. This is because the foundation of our being is unshakable. You are the one who is undefinable on a spiritual level, and yet on a human level, you spend your entire existence defining and labeling everything around you with words and thoughts flowing through your mind. On a scientific perspective, being the authority of your existence is proven in quantum mechanics. Being the authority of your existence is proven in quantum mechanics. We now know that the basic structure of existence, atoms, electrons, quarks, we exist for us only when we are looking at them. The moment we remove our attention, they mysteriously disappear as if they never existed at all. All quantum physicists agree, across the board, that atoms, thoughts, don't actually exist in one particular location either. Meaning, if and when you never look at any one problem or personal issue again with your mind or imagination, never giving it any more energy, it simply disappears from your reality forever. Now, you are truly that powerful. You are truly that powerful. You are the one who decides what atoms exist and don't have priority or precedence inside your brain. You're the one that decides that. You are the sole creator of the reality in your inner world. You are the ultimate authority, and nobody is higher, bigger, or more powerful than you. He who thinks he is the doer is also the sufferer. You are pure consciousness beyond limitations, and it is reached by investigation into the I from admiration. Now, many of us may have noticed the rabbit hole tends to become more twisted and complex the deeper we peer into it. Being the grand master and ultimate authority of your reality is not actually a decision or responsibility that you can create, lose, drop, or find one day destroyed. It is your natural essence and your true inherent nature. If and when you approach the concept trying to acquire it as if it were an idea that could be kept safe like a secret treasure, then that means one day you will feel that you lost it. You cannot acquire what you actually are or lose connection with the source itself. You are not actually the soul doer here. Life is mastering itself, doing what it will through you. You can only forget and become ignorant of it by being distracted by more enticing, inviting things of this amazing world. You only need to remember that you are always the manifesting master of your reality. It simply cannot be anything else. Another dimension and depth to this enlightening inquiry is asking yourself the top 10 questions you most need to ask yourself around it. For example, if you're not the authority of your life, then who are you? Are you in love with yourself and your life? If not, why not? How are you relating with others you love in your life? What's your relationship with the idea of being empowered, conscious being? What would happen if you started interacting with everyone in your life from this reference point that you are a relaxed, self-appointed authority of your reality? Are trying to control others in your relationships, attempting to prove to yourself and them that you're the authority? What would your life be like to be free of any kind of disbelief around being the absolute creator of your reality? What would that be like? Now, if and when you ask yourself, why are so many people not living this radiantly alive, self-mastered existence? You may find a lifetime of questions that will soon follow. We have only imagined that we are powerless and fearful. We believed in the fabrication of this lie because others we loved believed in it. We have also have entire lifetimes of victim life karma, right? That says we are not responsible for creating every detail of our reality. It's from these powerless spokes of our karmic wheel that cause all the suffering in our lives. Once we can digest the truth that cause all the suffering in our lives, once we can digest the truth that we are the center, the source of pure consciousness itself, that knows no failure, is totally timeless, transcendent of pain, beyond space, free from all limiting beliefs, then we discover our spiritual doorway to total freedom. When we look at how our consciousness functions, we can see that it behaves much like the hub of a wheel from which our entire lives radiates out from. As we see with any wheel, if it has no center, the radius and circumference cannot exist. You are this center. And so everything must stem from you. The spokes of the wheel are your thoughts and feelings. And the totality of the sphere represents your life. Now, if and when you step back from it all, you can see that the center is completely unmoving, and this is what holds the entire wheel together. While the circumference and spokes continually move, change, and spin, the center remains fixed at the core. We can see things changing around us only because our center is unmoving. If and when the center was moving, everything would appear to be still. We need a solid reference point or point of view to see movement and action. We are that unmoving source which does not change, and thus are always influencing that which is around us. We are this fixed central sun, the source of creativity, creating our lives in each moment by itself. We are a purely radiant infinite energy who is inventing everything around it in all directions. We can see things changing around us, right? We were free before, right? You were free before you were born. Your consciousness has always been continuously creating some version of reality, whether you were aware of it or not. Think about all the amazing things you've forgotten throughout the journey of your life. When we can remember what is vitally important, we return to our life purpose and mission. When we are aware that we are the ultimate authority of our every moment-to-moment reality, we are spiritually awakened and have a greater ability to control and decide which direction we want to live. We want life to go. Through simply realizing we are the ultimate authority, we are free otherwise. Our life acts a lot like a sailboat with a keel or rudder, and our destiny is blown across the sea by the random yet highly intelligent direction of the wind. When you know you are the ultimate authority of your reality, you don't have to prove it to anybody, and especially not to yourself. From this self-realized perspective, you understand that you cannot lose your power, ever. You always already are the hub of the wheel, and nothing, absolutely nothing can take this away from you. You are the power. You are the core that is manifesting whatever you desire in your life. Never again can this be altered, and no longer are you enticed to play the victim, villain, hero, or become more of a self-realized creative genius who is co-designing your entire reality from a place of enthusiastic love, lightness, and joy. One who knows the self has nothing more to do, nor has he any more thoughts. From then on, the infinite power will carry out all further actions that may be necessary for him. You, all of us, are the supreme ruler of our inner worlds. This is our territory, your territory. And when there is no more small you to be hurt or lost, You are truly free. Then you no longer have to unwillingly cross over another treacherous ocean of fear, pain, agony, and separation or lack to find that central paradise of calmness inside your heart and soul. When the ego is lost, the soul is found. And your thoughts no longer have power over you anymore. When you truly realize who or what is that force which is always ultimately creating your reality, and that you can never ever be separate from that again, then you claim your sovereign birthright to master this life in all its dimension and form. Running away from any problem only increases the distance from the solution. In the vast pool of consciousness inside us, surrounding us, there are three types of thoughts that we can choose from: positive, negative, and neutral. Neutral thoughts. Now, the positive, negative, and the neutral thoughts may still have a subtle positive or negative slant to them, yet are just less fiercely opinionated. The negative thoughts are the clinging type, where the body holds physical tension and the breath is shorter and controlled. The mind is grasping on in fear, thinking that all our ideas, life circumstances, and belief systems must be a certain particular way, and not any other way. If we are to survive, positive thoughts, however, feel more liberating and mind expansive, abundant, and healing to the body. There is an instant appreciative vibration and sensation of the gentleness, confidence, peace, and warmth around the heart. The reason I'm explaining the obvious is because we don't often realize if what type of thinking we are dwelling in, and the moment we become aware, it gives us a chance at the beginning or at becoming truly free. It's essential that we explore life outside our normal box of believing if we are ever to evolve. It's essential that we explore life outside our normal box of believing if we are ever to evolve. One of the most interesting aspects that some of us have found about the path to enlightenment is that it can be found within both realms of positive and negative thinking. Enlightenment is always more effortless than what we've been told. It's a natural byproduct and effect from living in a state of perpetual equanimity and neutrality with the mind. It's a natural byproduct and effect from living in a state of perpetual equanimity and neutrality with the mind. Therefore, we must choose to remove any spiritual enlightenment mask if we are ever to truly arrive. The mask I'm referring to is the one that believes the super pure, holy, sacred beings are those who only have positive, loving thoughts, coursing through their brains all day long. If and when positive thinking all day long was a necessity to become enlightened, it would be pretty hopeless for a majority of humanity to ever find real, true inner freedom. When it comes to enlightenment, positive thinking can help you arrive at freedom just as much as negative thinking. Both sides of the coin are needed for us to find the edge, where the mind is dropped and real freedom abides. So you may decide to use the positive front door, or perhaps sneak in through the negative basement window. Both doors to freedom go to the same place, allowing you to step into your enlightened home. When we arrive in the burning hearth and fire of awareness, we simply want to rest and relax into that cozy, healing nest. The blissful feeling of freedom naturally arises from sitting in front of that fire of awareness. We can then see the negative and positive thoughts come and go, yet the fire of pure awareness remains the same. It's as if we once believed we were puffy clouds who spent too much time floating through the mountain peaks and valleys, forgetting that our real home is the vast, endless sky. Our thoughts are the various cloud formations and consistency of the cloud, while the enlightened state, our truly real nature, is the infinite sky. In pure awareness, we see that we already are. In pure awareness, we see that we already are the free sky that has no limits or real boundaries. We understand we are free from our thoughts and beliefs, no matter how high or low they are, no matter what the mind thinks it needs. It's as if we once believed we were puffy clouds who spent too much time floating through the mountain peaks and valleys, forgetting that our real home is the vast, endless sky. Our thoughts and the various cloud formations and consistency of the cloud, while the enlightened state, our real nature, is the infinite sky. In pure awareness, we see that we already are the free sky that has no limits or real boundaries. We understand we are free from our thoughts and beliefs, no matter how high or low they are. The real question, we understand that we are free from our thoughts and beliefs, no matter how high or low they are, no matter what the mind thinks it needs to do to find peace in your life. The real question is, what are you doing to relax into and discover your personal infinite sky, which is always there and waiting for you? The mind is intangible. In fact, it does not exist. The surest way to control it is to seek it. Then its activities cease. Sri Ramana Maharishi. Breaking the framework of our deeply indoctrinated belief systems naturally occurs from taking this first step to real freedom. As long as we think our happiness, enlightenment, or a successful life depends on having to have only positive thinking, it creates a tension inside of us that constricts our consciousness and imprisons our minds in a smaller framework than the unlimited universal intelligence we normally have access to. I invite you to do a personal test and see for yourself. Explore this sweet little experiment that will blow your mind this week. Try to only think positively about one particular thing for one full hour. Do it, don't try it. Think positively about one particular thing for one full hour. Do not allow the pendulum to swing to the negative. If it does, start the timer over. Eventually, you'll find the mind reaches its positive creative peak and starts desperately seeking for more positivity, or will give up and get pulled into a valley of frustration. The mind is the ultimate con artist at thinking it knows the secrets to making you happy. It will form very specific ideas that you have succeeded or failed in this life, enticing your heart to believe that your innermost nature is also a total success or total failure. Another fun thing to notice here is how liberating it feels to realize that enlightenment has little to do with trying to think positive thoughts or staying free from negative thoughts. We become instantly closer to the state of enlightenment, of enlightened freedom, from entertaining this one small shift in perception. Now imagine holding this idea as your entire life's perception all day long for the next 21 days. Now we're talking more about a truly profound shift, a real deepening in the liberated awareness that you are, who is already always free from all forms of suffering. This more expansive perception of reality, liberating relationship with the mind, is the first major task to master on the enlightenment path. Is truth so particular that there is only one gate to heaven? There are no gates. No gates to heaven. The heaven is inside you. You are not even the gatekeeper. Emmanuel. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out.
Hello, fellow brothers and sisters of the light. I am Julie Joy, and for some unforeseen reason, the closeout is missing. Sometimes it's my internet, sometimes it's his internet, sometimes it's just a mystery. I've been recording these meditations for Jared since 2017, and we both appreciate your support and loyalty. And by support, I mean merely sharing with your friends. No financial support is required or requested on this channel. Thank you so much for listening.